Let me ask you a question before we get started. Do you have a message that you'd like to get out there? If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Number one, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast, and it's all in one place. Just download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Welcome back to our three-part series called Struggle, Grow, Succeed. Last week we talked about struggle. We dove deep into the meaning of struggle. And today we're going to talk about growth. Stay tuned for part 2 of Struggle, Grow, Succeed. Welcome to Struggle, Grow, Succeed. I am your host, Charles Baldwin. This is where we welcome the struggle and then we attack it. It is through struggle that we grow. And on the other side of growth is success. Thank you for joining us today for our part 2 series of our 3-part series entitled Grow. Growth is a result of hard and sometimes difficult preparation. It is a time when the results of the struggle you were in is over. The growth process is a time of joy, a time of freshness, a time of newness, when things look totally different than before. A time when your light begins to shine, a time that you have been awaiting with great anticipation. Before we dive into part 2 of this series, let's recap and remember what it is that brings you to this place of growth. In part 1 of this series, you discovered what it truly means to struggle. You remember that it is the time of trial and error, the times you will have to push, climb, and claw your way to the next level by taking massive action. You learned that self-pity and naysayers, doubt and fear, failure and resistance are the chains that you have to make forceful and violent efforts to get free from. Growth happens because of the actions that you have taken and the battles that you have won. The ground has been prepared, the seed has been planted, and now it is time for you to grow. When a farmer looks out over his field in the spring, he sees the hard ground that is covered with the waste and weeds of the year before. He knows that in order to have a bountiful crop, there is so much work that will have to be done. The waste and weeds from the last year will have to be removed completely. The ground will need to be plowed up and tilled in order to release and loosen all of the packed dirt that has been unable to breathe over the course of the winter. The farmer knows that unless this massive action takes place, he will not be able to see the growth in his crops that will bring forth fruit. So he takes a deep breath and he begins to work and to struggle. He rakes up all of the waste from the past and he piles it up and then burns it so that it no longer exists. After cleaning the field, the farmer is ready to plow and till the soil. He prepares it so that it is able to receive the seeds that will grow and bring forth the bountiful crops that will provide for him and his family. The farmer believes that if everything is done right and he does not take any shortcuts, his crops could also provide for many people who are unable to provide for themselves and who hunger because they do not have the resources or the ability, or they have not been taught or shown how to provide for themselves. Unlike what many people think, our gifts and talents that we have been given are not meant to make us wealthy, better, or privileged. They are giving to us as seeds so that we can multiply them and help others when they are unable to or don't know how to help themselves. As you begin to grow, be careful to not gloat or revel in your prosperity. Even though your growth has been difficult at times and you have worked so hard to reach this level, you must realize that you have been chosen. It is a calling that has been placed on you because someone or something seen the potential in you, and knew that you would be able to overcome your struggle, bear fruit, and lead, instruct, and teach others. Your work and your consistent dedication can show others how to be overcomers of their own struggles and then grow themselves. You see, this process of growth has its own challenges. This new level that is above the struggle must be fed and watered and nurtured in order to mature and bring forth fruit. As you grow like a young sprout in the field, you must receive the right amount of fertilized sunshine and water to continue your growth. There are many dangers that can hinder your growth, so it is up to you to seek out the paths, the education, and the challenges, even though they may be unfamiliar to you, that will cause you to continue your growth each and every day. As a farmer looks out over his field, he can see the changes taking place in his crops almost every day. Even when the plants barely break through the ground, there is a change in the way his field looks. As you begin to grow, you will be the first to notice the difference. Then, as you grow taller and stronger, others will begin to take notice. Taking care of yourself and making sure that you are getting the necessary stimulation and nutrients for your growth will ensure that you will continue your growth and reach a state of maturity that can sustain not only you and your family, but also impact all of your neighbors, your family, and even the world. So welcome to the next level called growth. Embrace and enjoy the benefits that come when you grow, because it is leading you to another level that you have never experienced before. Welcome that change that causes you to struggle. It will bring you to this new level that will then make you grow. Thank you for joining us today. If you would like to respond to some of our broadcasts, you can do so at our Facebook group, #StruggleGrowSucceed, or you can hop on over and check out our webpage, StruggleGrowSucceed.com.